Harry's Wife, part 91.20. Harry's Wife versus Trolls. What do you think of when the word troll is mentioned to you? Well, once upon a time it was probably associated with those creatures that appear in Scandinavian folklore. Thereafter, it might have been those little sort of gonky things that some people collected, little plastic rubbery things with a shock of neon-coloured hair, pinks and luminous green and so forth. For some, me included, it evokes memories of a particular monster from Dungeons and Dragons, which you had to kill it with fire, otherwise it regenerated. But latterly, with the rise of the internet, it has come to be known as somebody that spends their time making vicious comments about other people in an online environment. To understand more about this phenomenon, I'd invite you to listen to my video, The Online Troll, where I explain what trolling is in relation to narcissism. I think you'll be surprised at some of the revelations there. Nevertheless, of course, Harry's wife has maintained that she is repeatedly the victim of trolls. As I've explained before, she has been subjected to some ridiculous comments by certain people where it's been overtly racist, and those are the knuckle-dragging idiots. However, we've noticed time after time after time that if anybody criticises her by expressing their opinion, they are immediately labelled as a hater, a racist, a sexist, that they are a troll. This, of course, is as a consequence of Harry's wife's narcissistic perspective. Although she doesn't realise it, she thinks in black and white. You're either with her or against her. And therefore, where you offer criticism, no matter how well intended, no matter how constructive, no matter how accurate, when it goes through her distortion field, all that then remains is, you're against me. Her narcissism causes her to consider the comment, the statement, the observation, as hate, as racism, as sexism, as trolling. She is unable to look beyond it to think, well, does this person actually have a point in what they've written or said? Is it founded on something? Is it linked to my behaviour? Is it a well-founded opinion? No. Because of her narcissism, the way that hers functions is commensurate with that black and white thinking. If you're exhibiting that you're under control, you're painted white, and if you are doing something which threatens that control, for instance, criticising her, you are then painted black. And this has been seen repeatedly. The concept of her being trolling, of course, is something that or rather the concept of her having been trolled, is something that she has doled out in terms of a pity play. All these people have it in for me. Life is intolerable. It was also, of course, used for the justification for the transatlantic dash, dragging he of the pink pancakes behind her as they departed to Canada and then the United States. She, of course, is unable to see that it is her repeated behaviour that people are commenting upon that results in the criticisms, and it is not driven by hate. But that doesn't stop certain flunkies from maintaining that it is. You will, of course, be aware of an individual called Christopher Bouzy, who, a little while ago, embarked upon a completely ill-conceived campaign against certain Twitter accounts, all in the name of labelling them as hate speech. Indeed, even your glorious narrator was caught up in the criticism. There were others, of course, who faced far greater observation and criticism, and indeed certain accounts ended up being closed down, but they were amongst a minority, with Twitter robustly responding to Bouzy's ill-conceived and ill-considered report that the accounts concerned were not that of an orchestrated campaign. They weren't bots, they were individuals, and they were not transgressing the relevant terms and conditions of use of the platform. It soon became evident that Bouzy had his own agenda. His previous Twitter behaviours demonstrated that in effect he had it in for the royal family and was pro-Harry's wife, and that he had effectively been commissioned by the deluded shuggers to go after their enemies, and therefore not only were we unaware of what he defined as hate speech, but the whole report that he compiled was narrow in nature, biased, and basically worthless. But that doesn't stop him. After having gone after those on Twitter, he's now turned his attention to those on YouTube. And this has been reported by Newsweek, Jack Royston, who appears to be amenable to publicising the work of Bouzy. And an article states as follows: Harry's wife trolls are earning thousands via YouTube advertising, which then acts as an incentive to continue creating more hate-filled content, a data analyst has told Newsweek. Once again, an analysis of much of the platforms demonstrates it isn't hate-filled, but rather it is criticism, observation on the behaviours of Harry's wife. But of course, that does not stop it being labelled as hate because of the jaundiced view of the creator. Bot Sentinel has been investigating what it described in one report as a network of hate targeting the Duchess of Sussex. There is no such network. The company started off looking at Twitter, where it found in October that 70% of hateful Twitter posts about Harry's wife were produced by a core of 55 troll account, backed up by 28 secondary accounts that were used to spread the toxic discourse. Of course, there was no definition given as to what amounts to toxic discourse. The labelling of troll account and toxic discourse was used like throwing confetti around at a wedding. However, it has since moved on, no doubt because the Twitter campaign was largely ineffective, and is now looking at YouTube, where founder Christopher Bouzy identified one account, Yankee Wally, which appears to make $3,300 a month in ad revenue. He told Newsweek there were more users earning similar sums from posting hostile videos about the Duchess, and said they would be exposed in a future report by the company. Bouzy told Newsweek, "I think it's unconscionable and abhorrent that people are earning thousands of dollars each month from videos created to spread hate." Once again, of course, he doesn't define hate, and those who have no doubt listened to the content of Yankee Wally will be clear that it's observations on the behaviour. Bouzy continued to state, and platforms like YouTube are incentivising these people to continue creating more hate-filled content. 1, again, it's not hate-filled content. 2, have a look at who's actually incentivising the content. It's not YouTube. It's Harry's wife. If she stopped behaving in the way that she did, there would be nothing to comment on. If she didn't continue to behave as the narcissist that she is, ensuring through her relentless PR campaign that she appears in news feeds, broadcast news, digital and social media, there'd be nothing to comment upon. If she didn't behave in a contrarian and hypocritical fashion, there'd be nothing to comment upon. If she didn't behave in a particular way in interviews, which demonstrate her narcissism in full effect, there'd be nothing to comment upon. If she didn't continue to issue brickbats against the British royal family, there'd be nothing to comment upon. If she didn't continue to engage in behaviours of failing to recognise boundaries, sticking her nose in where it wasn't wanted, there'd be nothing to comment upon. The person that is incentivising this so-called hate-filled content, which is actually observation about her behaviour, is Harry's wife. Of course, she is completely incapable of seeing this because her narcissism blinds her to it. The article continues by explaining that Yankee Wally posted more than 500 videos, with names including proof of what a manipulative, evil, conniving, plotting, controlling narcissist Harry's wife really is. Well, it's a little bit dramatic in the title, and of course that's designed to draw people to it. There could be subtler ways of describing it, but nevertheless it is based on the behaviours. Past research by Newsweek showed a separate troll account, Murky Meg, made money off adverts on hate videos, including for human rights organisation Amnesty International. When contacted by Newsweek, the charity said it advertised through YouTube using a package that applied the company's strictest controls on hateful content, but the platform placed its ad on the hate channel all the same. Again, the content of Murky Meg was passing observation on the behaviours. To describe it as a hate channel is to stretch the word hate to its thinnest, and is to create a very elastic concept of hate, which of course then dilutes the issue and makes it more problematic, because what happens is that the true channels which do spew out hateful content, and they do exist, become less obvious because everything is grouped together. Bot Central in October said Twitter's algorithm fueled the troll network, targeting Harry's wife by suggesting new followers for the hate account. Its report read, "We used Twitter accounts without friends or followers during our research, and after reviewing 2 hate counts," well, that's extensive research, "Twitter's algorithm began suggesting numerous hate accounts. On multiple occasions, Twitter recommended we follow these hate accounts. It is our opinion the accounts included in this report are violating Twitter's rules on platform manipulation and spam." Yes, your opinion. And your opinion isn't a very well-founded one. And publishing private information. Harry's wife told the Teenager Therapy podcast in October 2020 of the impact online trolling had on her. She said, "I'm told that in 2019 I was the most trolled person in the entire world, male or female. For 8 months of that I wasn't even visible. I was on maternity leave or with a baby, but was able to be manufactured and churned out. It's almost unsurvivable." Of course, revision of history, because the evidence demonstrated that she was visible during that time. Well, Newsweek followed up with a further report based upon this, which states, "A Harry's wife YouTube troll makes an estimated $3,300 a month, providing regular hate videos to 45,000 subscribers," a screenshot from one video appears to reveal. Yankee Wally has posted more than 500 videos to the app, owned by Google, with titles including "Proof of what a manipulative, evil, conniving, plotting, controlling narcissist Harry's wife really is," and "Harry's wife cannot make me like her. The more she pushes, the more I dig my heels in." Fair comment. Many are made by recording her phone screen as she examines and analyses things that have been in the news, which she's perfectly entitled to do. However, in a December video about Harry's wife's court victory over the Mail on Sunday, she enters split-screen mode and momentarily reveals a YouTube studio profile containing what appears to be her estimated monthly revenue. The information was spotted, or rather, he sits there monitoring everything that Yankee Wally does because he's got it in for her, which demonstrates evidence of bias. The information was spotted by Christopher Bouzy and could only be spotted by him sitting and watching her videos, founder of data analysis firm Bot Sentinel, which tracks troll and bot networks on social media. Well, unfortunately, that description is not a very good one, because many of the accounts that it does track aren't troll accounts at all. Bouzy wrote, "In Yankee Wally's video titled 'Harry's wife has won a silly copyright claim, but she's now known worldwide as a big fat liar,' around 9 minutes 19 in, she inadvertently shows her YouTube studio estimated monthly revenue. She earns over £2,500 per month, or approximately $3,316.50. That's some approximation. The figures would give her an annual income of around £30,000 a year, more than an officer cadet at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, where Prince Harry did his officer training. A graduate from that course, going, like the Duke of Sussex, into the Household Cavalry, would only earn a few thousand more, $33,436 as a serving officer." Well, if you're going to get into those comparisons, why not start bringing in the pay of footballers, pop stars, CEOs, and so forth? In addition to advertising revenue, Yankee Wally also posts details of her PayPal, adding "any odd dollars gratefully accepted." Yankee Wally told Newsweek, "Every year I have to fill in a tax return for the United States. Failure to do so results in deduction of 40%. I always complete mine, so I pay 20%. 41% of all ad revenue goes to YouTube. I'm 65 and retired, not on any government benefits. The income varies greatly. I've earned as little as $700 a month. Now that Bouzy has continued to use his Twitter account to say I'm a hate account, I'm feeling less inclined to make videos at all." Regarding Harry's wife, "Hate is too strong an emotion to waste on someone that I just don't like." I think she would be better served explaining that her account is about observations rather than justifying the amount of money that she receives and the taxes that she pays. Nevertheless, that's a matter for her. The article continues. It comes after Newsweek revealed in October that Harry's wife hate accounts were monetizing their content through YouTube and merchandise. We revealed one, Murky Meg, had adverts for human rights charity Amnesty International, and it just repeats what I've told you earlier on. The article continues with Bouzy stating, our research was picked up by Sophia Umaja Noble, author of Algorithms of Oppression, in an article New York Magazine's The Cut. And I have analysed such an article in parts passim, which again speaks volumes. Noble, who partners with Harry's wife and Prince Harry's Archewell Foundation, wrote, in 2018, Amnesty International reported that while all women are targets of online abuse and violence, women of colour were 34% more likely to be mentioned in abusive or problematic tweets than white women. What she failed to mention was that Harry's wife identifies as white when it suits her and as a woman of colour when it suits her, demonstrating the chameleon behaviours of the narcissist. The article continues with Bouzy also recently revealed one Twitter troll account was blackfishing, or posing as a black person using an anonymous account. He wrote, this person isn't a black woman, she's a middle-aged white woman pretending to be black. Eventually we will release a report on digital blackface. The account replied, bah ha 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 ha. I can't, OMG, bro, middle-aged, LOL, last time I checked, I was born a black woman, LOL. This man write, I'm loving this dude, a middle-aged, what now, LOL, bruh, please remain seated, but thanks for the shout-out, Christopher Bouzy. I think I'd be more concerned commenting about this person's inability to communicate. The account was suspended by Twitter, along with another owned by the same person. Of course, the issue with regard to Harry's wife and the trolling will not go away. Why? Simply because she will not do so. And so long as people continue to express their opinion, we are going to see these kind of jaundice responses, which of course are propagated by those that support her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.